Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harpin on Rugby, where with the help of some fellow fans, I get to harp on what's going on with Leinster, Ireland, and the wider rugby world. Well, we've been harping on Leinster quite a bit for the past few months, so with the Six Nations almost upon us, I thought I'd get some opinions on Ireland's chances from around the provinces. First up, representing Ulster, we have someone who has made many an appearance on the Red Hand podcast, among other places, and this actually represents his 17th Harpin cap. Welcome back to Mr. Ian Frizzell.
Thanks, Jeff. Cheers for having me on.
No problem. Good to have you. And next up, we have the owner-operator of the great Connacht fan online entity that is the Second Row, back for appearance number 14. Hello again to Mr. Porter Kelly.
Thanks for having me on again. Can't wait for the Six Nations. Great. Can't look forward to have a good chat about it as well.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, to offer a monster slant on things, we have someone making their Harpin debut, but she's definitely no stranger to the old rugby pods. She's a regular co-host on both Ruck and Roll and the Red Army podcast. Delighted for you to join us for the first time, Patricia Vieira.
Yeah, I'm happy to make my debut just in time for the Six Nations.
Indeed, it's always a good time of year to be given the debut. All right, okay. So maybe we can start to have a look at the kind of approach Ireland is going to bring now. It's safe to say, I mean, with the exception of that quarterfinal that shall not be named, we had a pretty good run there going for a while. But as always with any sport, if you do need to make the odd change here and there. So just going to you first, Parag, in what way could Andy and co use this group of players maybe to mix things up?
Like with Andy's philosophy of win today, win tomorrow, win yesterday, and win the next day first, I think the main thing they have to do is get the set piece fixed. I think really Ireland on a whole in the last, even on the great winning run, the line out and the scrum has been not an Achilles heel, but not something that we can really show off to the world. And that falls on the coaching ticket to get that's not working right for as long as it has. There's only so long players can be not good at something. So I think that's the big thing, that if we see an improvement there, I think this is a tournament that we can go, like after the French match, there's no one there that really I have any fear of, to be honest. If we have a working set piece, I think each player individually brings something different there, but it's just my worry is very much what type of pack we have for that, and the makeup is going to be quite similar to what we've seen. I'm like, so the players are the same, so does that mean that our approach is going to be different? And I'm not sure that is possible with that. So I'm hoping there's a big change there. I hope that comes from the coaching and we see a lot more there. I think that's why Peter O'Mahony has to start, because he's guaranteed good lineup ball. I can see a possibility of 6-2 splits almost. There's a part of me, because
especially if Frawley's going to be on the bench.
Yeah, and it just lets Byrne go to 6 and replace the full second row, and you have a more solid pack to get behind, say, Cian Healy and possibly Finlay Bealham, who I think is an underrated scrummager, but when he comes on, it's that type of style of thing. Is like, all right, so now we could just replace the engine room and go again, and that will help. So it's stuff like that. I'll be interested to see if we do, but knowing Andy Farrell, it'll be 5-3, and it'll be someone like Ian Henderson on the bench who can like play 5 and could play 6 and could play all around the place. So it could be grand,
Yeah, definitely. When you say set piece, do you mean specifically the scrum, or just the whole area of
and the line out? I think our calling, we were winning our ball, but we were getting clean ball. Like the amount of time that you're kind of just wrenching that ball out of the sky and getting it out to Gibson Park or Murray, and then you go and the defense is time to come up and it's not clean and the ball has to be settled in the hands. It's like at international level, it's those split seconds that make all the difference. So the ball being thrown out the hooker's hands into a jumper's and out to the 9, if that's in any way delayed, suddenly your attack isn't as fluid as we want. And our set piece attack is our first phase plays are incredible. Like they slice open defenses, but that ball has to be good coming out from the set piece to make those things work as good as they have been.
Absolutely. What do you make of it, Patricia?
Yeah, I think like Padraig said, the scrum is sort of, I think that people have sort of cottoned on to the issues that Ireland can have at the scrum if a referee takes against them, or if a particularly sort of big and powerful tight head sort of gets his way against Ireland, I suppose. Like the line out, Ireland used their line out as like their as a platform quite a lot of the time. We saw, I suppose, I know Ireland won that South Africa game in the pool stages in the World Cup, but the lineouts in that game was kind of nightmare fuel stuff for a while in the first half there. I think it'll be, I don't think Ireland are going to rip up trees. I don't think they're going to change an awful lot. The way that they play won them a Grand Slam 12 months ago. It won them a lot of games. It didn't win them the game that mattered, I suppose. But like, you sort of question, what way could Ireland have played that could have won them that game, I guess. But I don't think that we're going to see a huge amount of difference. I think like we saw, we didn't see any difference really in squad selection. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of difference in team selection, and like the team that he selects is going to play the way that team has played over the last sort of 2-3 years, and that wins them the vast majority of games.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the way the Farrell tenure, especially after COVID, during the really successful time, the way it evolved. I mean, they really got into a click there. There was a specific way of playing, like for example, like Van der Fleer's involvement at lineouts, his key role, linking up the play, and all that kind of stuff. Which was brilliant to see, and it was great to see that everyone knew what they were doing. But of course, opposition coaches and DVDs, sessions, and they're seeing all that as well. So they'll just say, follow that red scrum cap. You know where the ball's going to go. Things like that. So they will probably have to change something at some point, I suppose. What do you think, Ian?
Well, first of all, I have to say we have 4 provinces, and there's not one of them that has got a dominant set piece. So that's where your starting point is. We don't really put a massive amount of emphasis on either scrum or line out in this country, simply because we don't have the players. We don't have the 22, 24 stone props that are running around the pitches in France. So you have to cut your cloth, and to do that, you're looking for your coaches then to come up with some plays. And you're quite right, Jeff. We've had some fantastic plays off our set piece, and other coaches will see that. So I'm hoping that over the course of the last few months since the World Cup, that the guys have sat down and have thought about this, and we will see something that sets us aside from the other teams. Watching international rugby and lineouts, it's a farce. It's a split second thing. It's just yes, you have to be really clued in, and to be too simplistic, you ain't going to win anything. So you have to be taking risks all the time, and we do take risks, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, I agree. I think it was Patricia said, Podrick actually said it, the coaches, they really have to take the responsibility for that. What can we do about the scrum? It's a difficult one. Andrew Porter seems to think that he's right all the time, but the referees seem to have taken umbrage at him, and he gets maybe penalised a lot more than he actually should be. I'd be more interested in seeing a few overhead shots actually, but it's small things in there, and I'm sure they'll be working on it quite a bit over the course of the last week and this week. So it remains to be seen. We will have the same personnel, and no doubt we will have the same problems from time to time as different teams read us.
Yeah, Porrick?
Yeah, it's kind of Schrodinger's scrum, who's illegal first. No, but the big thing I meant to say is it's that Mac Hansen role with him injured. Who fills that? Who's that kind of second and third playmaker? Who's the kind of almost maverick? I'm going to kick a ball cross field. I think with Sexton out, having that second and third and fourth playmaker across the back line who's coming in, giving Crowley a hand. I'm assuming he's only starting, to be honest, but even if it isn't, or giving Harry Byrne a hand or Foley a hand, who's the people that are stepping in and taking that pressure off taking a ball on, making a pass, making a move. That's going to be very interesting because Ireland play very much is an off 10 off the back who's nearest to the scrum to the ruck type of game. So who's the person who's going to make in those big plays?
You might
I don't
see,
think there's any one individual that does that at the moment. So I think it needs to be across the board.
yeah, I think you might see a wee bit of juggling around the back three and bringing Hugo Keenan more into that role. So you might see him popping up as first or second receiver and some of those, and the others maybe covering a wee bit. Certainly, I would want to see Hugo as involved as possible because with Hansen out, he can be our X factor player. You know.
Yeah, plus as well, I mean, if as unfortunate as it all to not have Hansen in the team, just having someone different there, someone bringing someone in new like Dash, that would be a change in itself, and maybe let him, because one thing Farrell has done, he's brought in these new players and he's had them playing their way as opposed to taking the place of the person that's come in. So that could be in a new way in itself. So there is a lot of scope there, like you say, to change things around, even with this squad where we've already said that there aren't that many new introductions. So hopefully we'll see that over the coming weeks.